Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Will Does Magic. My name is Will. I hope you're all having a magical day. Now today I'll show you another card trick, and this is probably one of the easiest card tricks to perform. That was probably one of the first card tricks I learned that I actually used continuously in a routine. Now the reason why I did this is because it's so easy to perform. All you need is a deck of cards, no setup, no nothing. And it requires a little bit of sleight of hand, but it's super simple and you can do it in so many variations out there. If you want me to show you how I do it in more in-depth tutorial, please leave a comment on it down below. But for now, let's get into the performance of this trick. So for this trick, guys, all you need is a deck of cards. Now this is a shuffled normal deck of cards. We can give them a quick little shuffle just to make sure. Now, you're going to pick any one of these cards. So let's say you pick the card right over here. And I'm going to try not to see it, but you guys going to see it. All right, so that is your card. Now, we're going to put it in the middle somewhere, all right? And then what we're going to do is that we're going to make 3 piles. And I want you to point at 2 piles. So let's say you point at these 2. All right, so then let's have those 2 go together. And then you point at whichever one you want. So let's say you point at this one. All right, so then let's go like that. Now, what we're going to do is that we're going to make a kind of a crazy shuffle. So we're going to turn a couple cards up, a couple cards down. Now we're going to go through this, the whole deck down. And this is just to kind of mix the cards up a bit more than they already are, all right? So now, as you can see, a couple cards are face up to face down, and then a couple other cards are face down to face up. Now, some cards, let's see here, there we go, might even be face down to face down. I mean, that's the beauty of it. But here's the really interesting part. You got to pick a card at the start of the trick. Now, I want you to tell me what your card was. The 4 of diamonds. All right. Even though we mixed up the cards and everything, and then we shuffle them back and forth, your card is going to be the only card face down in the entire deck. Now, you said your card was the 4 of diamonds. This card, ladies and gentlemen, is the 4 of diamonds. Now, that was the trick, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and let's get into the tutorial of this trick. So for this trick, guys, all you need is a deck of cards. Now, before you start the trick, you want to give the cards a little slight bend. Now, in my performance, I did not give them a good bend enough, which I'll explain at the end why, but a good enough bend so that you can clearly tell when they're faced the wrong way. Now, what you want to do is that you want to give the spectator a free choice of cards. So let's say they pick the card right over here, which is the 4 of clubs. Now you're going to do a bottom control. Now there are millions of ways to do it out there. I probably show you the easiest, most beginner friendly way to do it, but it's perhaps not the most convincing way of doing it. But that's because I want to get you guys into Magic a lot more easy. So what you do is you take the card, you place it somewhere in the middle. All right. And then as you're pushing the card in, I want you to push the card with a slight upwards bend. All right, so you push it in. Now that will create a little thumb break underneath that card. Now from here, you can either make a quick cut, or you can do as I did. You can split the deck into first half above that break, which I convert into a pinky break pretty easily. So you have your thumb break after you put the card in. So you put the card in, push it slightly upwards and push it in, which creates a thumb break. Now, I transfer it to my left hand, and as I'm doing that, I'm inserting my pinky in the back right corner. So when I hold it in my left hand, I've got a pinky break, but from this angle, it looks completely normal. Now I pick up about half the top half and put it down. I pick up from that break and put it in the middle, and then the rest of the pack I just put to the side. Now all you got to do is remember that the middle pack is the one who's got their card on the bottom. So you tell them to pick 2 piles. Now, doesn't matter which piles they pick. If they pick these 2, you put them together, keeping the 4 on the bottom. If they pick these 2, you simply put them on top of 1. You don't have to explain what you're doing as long as they're picking 2 piles. If they're picking these 2, same thing, put 1 on top. Now, let's say they pick these 2, for example, you put these ones on top. Now, pick either one of them. Say they pick this one, all right, let's put that one on top. They pick this one, all right, let's keep that on the bottom. Simple enough. Now, from this point, it's important that that bend is still there. If you want, you can kind of sneakily bend them in your hand, because what you're doing here is that you're peeling off a couple cards. Then as you're turning them over, you're going to keep the back sides to each other. Now, you don't want to go like this, all right? You want to keep the backs face down, because what's happening is when you peel off a couple more cards and you turn them back out, you want to peel this time from the bottom. So what's essentially happening is that you're only spreading the cards so that they're not really mixing themselves up. They're just getting spread out on either side, face up, face down. Now you're going to keep this pattern going until you get to the very last cards. Now the last card, which is their selected card, you want to make sure you flip the deck over and a single card, their card goes on top of the deck. Now from here you square the cards up. Now this is where the break comes in. You're going to pick about half the cards above the break and say some cards are face up to face down. Put them back as normal. You're going to go below the break and say some cards are face down to face up. Put them back. Now in this part, which I messed up in the performance, you want to pick out that break exactly and say face down to face down. Now as you're doing this, you're picking them up, saying face down to face down. You see how that break is already kind of getting loose? That's where you really want to get them a good break in. So you go face down to face down. And as you're doing it, you're going to turn this deck over so that their card on top now becomes the only card that goes in the deck facing the wrong way. And now once you've done this, it's all acting. You can say, all right, so we picked the card. You can go through the whole trick once more and explain what happened, and you snap your fingers and their card will be the only cards facing the wrong way. You can turn the deck over like I did because I feel like it gives a more unexpected result. And then spread the cards out. They'll see one card is faced the wrong way. You tell them to take it out and look at it, and it's their card. Now, it's a super simple trick, guys, that requires a little bit of sleight of hand maybe, but as long as you're convincing and not looking unnatural in your movements, they're not going to catch it. Trust me. I performed this trick 1,000 times in front of friends and family and strangers. They're not asking what you're doing with your hands unless it doesn't look normal. So just try to make it look as normal as possible. Make sure that break is kept in as good as possible as well. Now, that's the trick, guys. I hope you enjoyed the performance and tutorial. If you did, please leave a like on the video, comment on what you guys want to see next. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and share the video with your friends. Other than that, I hope you're all having a magical day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.